Well, hello everybody! It is Heather with Belle's Library, and I'm really excited to be talking about all the books that I want to read in December with you guys today. If you guys are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy and you will subscribe. And to everyone else that is following me, hello, hello. I can't wait to hear what you guys are reading this December as well. So I do have a question for everybody. I have been playing around with the idea of doing like a TBR game, and I kind of started like a board game that I've been making. And I just want to know, do you guys like to watch those kinds of things? How do you guys feel about it? I guess one of the things that I like the idea of is it could give me a little bit of variety and make me pull out books that maybe I wouldn't always pull out, or I won't get stuck. Like sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, I don't know what to read, and then I just decide not to read because I don't know what to read because I want to read so many things and I can't seem to figure it out. So that would kind of take some of that out of it. But my other concerns are I do have like TBR videos that I like to do, and I have a ton of ideas for that in my brain, so I couldn't really fit that into, I don't know how I would fit that in with the TBR game if I already kind of have that planned out. I'm also a seasonal reader, so I do like to add in like more scary books in October, or you'll see a lot of Christmassy books for December. I'm not sure how that would play into it, so I mean I'd have to definitely play around with it. Maybe I'll do it just every few months. Maybe I will do it every month. I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on this, please let me know in the comments down below. And let's go ahead and just get into my December TBR. So I'm going to start with a few books that I have actually started, but I am not going to be able to finish in November. So I should be able to finish them up here in like the first week of December probably. They'll be like the first few reads I'm doing. I also have just a few books that I have on loan from the library that I need to finish up before they have to get returned. So that's kind of what we'll talk about first. So right now I am about halfway through the Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I actually decided to pick this book up because I loved The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I was curious as to if I would like her other books, and she doesn't have too many. Her two main books are The Starless Sea and The Night Circus. So I'm about halfway through The Starless Sea. I am enjoying it, but I'll tell you more of my thoughts in a wrap-up or a vlog or something. But it is definitely one that I'm kind of taking my time getting through because I feel like it's not one that I just really sit down and read chunks and chunks of. A few chapters here, a few chapters the next day. That's kind of like the comfortable speed with her writing. It's just very pretty, beautiful, imaginative writing, but it's just not one that I like to sit and just read for hours. So that one I'm just going to take in little chunks every day and enjoy the story and see where it takes me. It is very basically about this guy, Zachary, who is in college, and he finds this book in the library, and there is a short story within this book. It's like a book of a bunch of different stories that is actually about him, and it just kind of leads him down a rabbit hole of all this other stuff and discovering this other kind of world. And there's a lot more to it, but again, I'll talk to you guys more about that in a wrap up. I forgot to close my door, so you guys are probably hearing my laundry. Give me one sec. Okay, so I also started The House in the Cerulean Sea. Since The Starless Sea, I'm not reading in big chunks. I'm on page like 40 or 50, so I just started this one yesterday. And I am adoring it, and I know I'm going to fly through this one. This one is literally like a kid's book, but for adults. It is super cute. It has this really fun magical world element to it, and I am just adoring it. Basically, it is about Linus, and he works for the Department of Magical Youth. I can't remember the exact name of it, but he goes to all these different homes and orphanages where these kids live that have magical powers, and he makes sure that they're safe and that everything's running well, yada yada. he gets tasked with one of the biggest, most classified orphanages that is set on this island, and he has to go live there for a month and make sure that everything's running well, because these are like the 6 kids that have the most powers or that kind of thing. I'm getting to the point where he's like just now pulled up on the island, so I haven't learned too much about the kids or the caretaker there, Arthur. I do know that there's supposed to be a romance, I believe, between Linus and Arthur, and so I'm excited to see where this story goes because it's really fun so far. And the last one that I have started already is City of Brass. I just started this morning. It is my new audiobook because I just finished up Layer of Dreams. And City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, I believe. This is a fantasy novel about this girl, I think Nari is how you say it. She basically has certain gifts, but she doesn't really believe that it's actually magical, and she pretends to like read people's cards and heal them and this and that. And so she works in these czars and does this kind of stuff, and she accidentally conjures some djinn, and they take her away to this djinn city where these 6 djinn clans live, and she finds out that she's like part djinn and is opened up to this whole world, and there's like, I think some families aren't getting along, and there's some drama there and political intrigue, and I'm not sure exactly where the story is going to take us from there, but it sounds really fun and interesting to be kind of, she's in Cairo right now. I think it's like the late 1800s or something. But yeah, I haven't read a story with Jin, and I just feel like it's going to be very fun and interesting. So I am listening to that one, and it is a very long audiobook. It's like 20 hours. Whew. Another one that I am going to be picking up from my library, hopefully this week they'll have it for me, is Heartstopper Volume 2. I read Volume 1 in November and adored it, and I can't wait to read Volume 2 and 3. This is by Alice Oseman, and it's just a really cute graphic novel collection about Nick and Charlie and how they met, and the first book's all about how they met and became friends, and then more possibly, and then the second one continues talking about them, and they're just the cutest characters ever. Like, I was just totally swooning over them, and they're just super sweet and good and wholesome, and I just love them. So the next, like, chunk of books are pretty much all Christmas-based books. I really just had a few that I'm, like, trying to kind of finish up, and then I want to just kind of go Christmas crazy for a little bit. So I did get an e-arc of In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren from NetGalley, and that came out like in October. I'm just behind because I wasn't in the mood for it yet. I wanted to get to the holiday season, but I'm really excited to be picking this one up. I really enjoy Christina Lauren's books that I've read so far, and this one sounds really fun. It is about this girl, oh, I can't remember her name right now. Basically, she goes to this cabin in Utah with her family and a friend family. Like, these two families, they go to the cabin. Sorry, that didn't come out very well. And this is going to be like her last year going to this cabin, and she messes up in some way, and she's like driving away at the end of the Christmas season, and she's just really disappointed, and she's already disappointed with her life and the way things are going, and she just like says to the universe, like, tell me what the heck I'm supposed to be doing, or something to that effect. And then all of a sudden she wakes up on the plane back to Utah, and she like starts the whole week over, and she kind of gets stuck in this loop, and she's trying to figure out how to get out of the loop. And obviously there's a romance in there because that's what Christina and Lauren write. So that one sounds really fun, and I'm excited to get into that one. So I also went ahead and borrowed a couple of audiobooks from my library because I wanted to find some audiobooks that would work. And surprisingly, I didn't have any available to me that were Christmassy. So I found Christmas at the Little Knitting Box. And this one sounds really cute. It is about this woman who runs the Little Knitting Box in New York City. and she gets some kind of letter in the mail, and it just kind of flips around her head. And then there's also this other guy who recently broke up from his marriage, and he's a single dad, and he's trying to figure things out. And the two of them end up meeting at a party, and they have to decide, like, you know, if they want to be in a relationship. But obviously they're attracted. It's like a cute little romance about them. And that one's by Helen J. Rolfe. Okay, so I also have an audio, Christmas at the Palace. I am going to put it here, and I will put the author's name down below because I'm not totally sure how to say it. But this one is just a cute romance between a doctor and the prince, and how they met. And I think the prince is supposed to be kind of more of the bad boy who's trying to turn more good boy and become the more kingly person that he needs to be. And the doctor is more of like a go-getter, hardworking, good girl kind of a deal, I believe, and they're cute little romance. So I also have my November Book of the Month book this time next year that I think would be really cute to read this month. It is about Minnie and Quinn, and they were the first and second kids born in London in 1990 on New Year's Day. And so they're celebrating their 30th birthday, and they actually happen to bump into each other, and they keep bumping into each other from then, and it's just kind of a cute little romance between the two of them, and so that one sounds really fun. I also have The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and this is kind of like a Scrooge story. So basically, Holly was visited 5 years ago by the ghost. What is it? Why can't I think of it? Yeah, the ghost of Christmas Past. And she didn't listen to them when they told her she needs to turn it around, and she died. And so she's in the afterlife, and she works for a company, Project Scrooge, and she has to be like the Christmas ghost that goes. And so it says, so far, Holly's afterlife has been miserable, but this year Scrooge is about to change everything. So curious as to where this one's gonna go. It sounds kind of fun and cute, and obviously holiday-ish. Oh, the fun words we make up. Holiday-ish. Then, oh my gosh, you guys, I have so many Christmassy books. I better get to reading. Luckily, I'll be out of school after a couple weeks, and then I'll probably just be like a reading fiend. So I also won an ebook of Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory off of Goodreads. So I do have that one on my Kindle. This one actually is kind of different because it follows the main characters, I think, in their 40s or 50s. It's this girl's mom. She is invited to the palace by, I don't know if like she's dating the prince or something. I don't really know why the mom gets invited to the palace, but she does. And then the prince's guard or something gives her a tour, and there's sparks fly, and it's kind of their little romance. And I just thought it was fun to see some older characters. It's nice to see, like, we have a 30-year-old here, and I think one of the other books I was reading, it was like somebody was in their 30s. So I like seeing some older people in my romances because I am getting older, and sometimes, you know, 17-year-old young love is different than 30-year-old love. So another Christmas book I was thinking about was 12 Dates of Christmas. This one's by Jenny Bayliss, and this one is about this girl who signs up. I don't know if she signs up, her friend signs her up for this dating service for like there's like 23 days until Christmas, and basically she gets 12 dates with different guys until Christmas to try and find love. That sounds kind of fun. And this next one is also kind of in that same vein. We have 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. So this one, this girl, I think she's more of a teenager. She's lives with her parents still, I believe. But her parents end up deciding to go hang out for Christmas with her sister. And she's like, nice, I have a little bit of freedom. I can hang out with my boyfriend instead. But the boyfriend decides he wants some space from her. So she goes to her grandparents where all of her other family is going for Christmas and the holidays and everything. And they decide to set her up. Each of the family members sets her up on a date. And so she has 10 different blind dates. And you know, fun ensues from there. So kind of similar ideas between those two books, but they both sound really fun. So the next one isn't totally holiday, but I put it in my holiday area because I don't know. Okay, let's just continue and I'll explain. So I have Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. If you guys have watched my November wrap-up yet, you will know that I absolutely love The Simple Wild and just, oh my gosh, beautiful. I loved Cal and Jonah. So I definitely want to continue their story, which is the second book, Wild at Heart. And so I'm really excited to get into that one. But that one's not necessarily a holiday book, but K.A. Tucker is coming out, I believe it releases December 1st. She has a little short, like 150-page little novella that follows Cal and Jonah after these two books, and it's during like the holiday season. And so I kind of want to read that one, but I want to read the second book before I can get to that one. So those are in there. I think Forever Wild is what it's called, the little novella. I will put pictures here for you guys. Oh my gosh, I have to pick up my daughter in a minute. Okay, we have to go a little faster. So the next two books are not Christmassy related, and I don't know that I'm actually going to get to these ones, but they're on my TBR in case I can. They go with future vlog ideas that I have in my brain. So, sneak peek at that. The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. This is a historical fiction, and it is about two sisters during the war. Which war is it? World War I? Nope, World War II. It's always World War II. I don't know why that is, but they live in France, and one of the sisters has a kid and a husband, and the husband gets called away to the front, and then she has to take care of her family and ends up having a German soldier who's like, I'm gonna live here and you're gonna take care of me. So she kind of has to figure that whole thing out. And then the other sister is 18. She's a little bit more rebellious, and she joins the resistance and gets a little bit more into the action, and it's following these two sisters during that time. So that one sounds kind of heartbreaking. And very last book, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This book is about this abandoned orphanage on an island, but maybe it's not actually abandoned, and it housed a bunch of peculiar children at one point in time. It says they may have been quarantined on a deserted island for good reason, and somehow, impossible though it seems, they may still be alive. And it's got, this one's kind of fun. Like, it has little pictures throughout the book to kind of go with our, like, story. So I think that's kind of cool. That is my very big December TBR. I don't know why I always make these huge TBRs and I can never finish all of them. Or I get distracted and start reading something else entirely. But I don't know. Maybe we'll stick to the TBR. Maybe we won't. Maybe you'll get some good ideas for things you guys can read this holiday season. Either way, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you like and subscribe and all that good jazz. I will also put my Instagram and my Goodreads accounts linked below if you guys want to check that out. And I will talk to you guys very soon.